Welcome back to episode 4 of Difficulty Settings. This is part 2 of Cameron's episode, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what Cameron's role is in my support system. So I hope you enjoy the episode. What role in my support system would you say that you have?
Well, I mean, I support you in your career and in your work. I don't know if there would be a name for that, but that, I mean, my main role is that I help you accomplish these productions, and that I know that they would not be complete without you, and I know that they wouldn't be complete without me. And so when we're filming something, I have the technical knowledge for the camera and for editing, and sometimes I help you write some of the questions for interviewers and stuff. And if you're not feeling well, then I'll pick up a little bit of the slack some days.
How do you feel about being a member of my support system?
I don't, I mean, I guess I don't really feel much about it other than I feel good to be your friend. You know? Because to me, being a friend and being a member of your support system is the same thing.
One and the same. I see. What are some of the most usual ways that you find you have to support me?
Most often, well, I think that in the beginning, it was a lot of you second-guessing yourself and me saying, why? What are you doing?
Just about to, I'm like, he is going to say, oh, technically, and all this stuff, and I pick up the slack, and I was going to be like, what about emotionally? But you went right on it.
Because personally, we now have it so that our roles are very clear, and they don't overlap a ton anymore, except for when you are struggling to make decisions. To make, whether it's decisions on content or what to say or who you are or how you feel or what you want to eat or anything.
Right, yeah.
Anything. Yeah.
Right.
That's probably the biggest thing I have to do. I
make decisions. The
yeah.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
That is the biggest way I support you, is I tell you that
I tell you what to
this.
do all the time. Yes.
And how does that aspect of the support system make you feel?
Exhausted. This is how the show will go. This is no. I mean, sometimes it's tiring because you're so smart, you're so great, you're not an idiot. You know what food you like, and you know what type of shows you like to watch, and what type, you know how you want to be. But for you to second guess yourself, whether it's a self-confidence issue or it's you're just exhausted and don't want to make a choice, I think that's one of the times when it's tough, because it's so, to me, the choice is like, I'm like, why are you even trying to choose between this and the other when you don't like this thing and you love this thing? Why are you even debating this? You know?
Right.
And that's, so that I think that's what it's like, is that I watch you struggle with some things that you don't have this outside perspective on yourself. I think that's one of the biggest ways one of the biggest things a support system can do is give you an outside perspective. Especially, like, I mean, we were talking about that before, about even me with being colorblind has helped me express my perspective and understand that other people can see things differently.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like this is a huge prime example of I believe that my anxiety is not bad. And I will tell myself that.
Which is, tell yourself that.
I mean, yeah, which is good, but it also very much severely affects my life.
Yeah.
That I don't see. Until somebody sits there and says, you are so paralyzed with this choice, the simplest choice.
I think that's something is that when we started working together, you didn't realize, I think something you said to me was that you didn't realize what it was like to be listened to.
Right, yeah.
Creatively and professionally. And that was huge, and that made me feel pretty nice. But it also made me a little upset. So yeah, there is that as well. I think that yeah, you struggle, and you do you do experience some paralyzing effects where you're stuck and you don't know how to make a decision. But also, I think it's because of some of the scenarios that you have familiarized yourself with.
Right.
Environments in which, if you made the wrong choice, people would be upset at you. If you didn't know something, people would be upset at you. And I think that's probably pretty upsetting for me and for you.
Yeah.
To learn that it could be better.
Exactly. What are some of the easiest ways that you found that you support me?
Well, like I said, I think that the easiest way is to listen and to ask your opinions. To say, are you happy with this? Are you happy with how this is going? Checking in and making sure that you're not getting swept up in some sort of, getting too inside your own head. Yeah.
Right.
But that's more, we've grown together while working together. So now we know how each other can be like. You do the same thing for me a lot of times. And yeah, so it takes so little effort to ask those questions and then make sure. So yeah, I think that's the easiest way.
Are there times that you find it difficult to be part of my support system?
Yes. Well, we talked a bit about it before, about asking, like, why are you even trying to make this decision? But the other time that I find it hard is when the problem doesn't come from you or from me. When the problem comes from another person. And I think that's the hardest time, the hardest it can get. Especially when we were in school, I won't say too much, but there were people that did not understand what you needed and why you had to work the way you did. There were people that believed that because you had to do the things the way you had to do them, that you would never ever be able to work professionally, and that no one would ever want to give you the money to do that. You would never be able to work in a film environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard because they were constantly questioning you and
I feel like
making you justify your choices.
Yeah, and feel like that I couldn't do it. And I feel like I will say that it was not like it was happening to me behind closed doors. It was very public.
Yeah.
That a lot of people could see. Like there was a huge ableist feeling.
Yeah, this stuff was in front of the class.
Yeah.
What everybody knew about it, and I mean, I won't say a lot about it, but yeah, that was hard. Because I know I didn't experience that stuff. There are certain times where if we're applying for something, we have to use my name or we have to use your name, and we have to figure out who best to represent
Right.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it shouldn't. It's like that's like something really frustrating for me is with my career and being passionate about it and wanting to do this. It's like having to play the field of, do I tell this person about my disability? Do I not tell this person about disability? And it should never be that way, in my opinion. People should be able to feel comfortable sharing whatever they want to share.
I mean, it's also playing the game of, when do I reveal it?
Right.
So
Yes.
it's like, yeah, you go to, I mean, I guess for other people that don't work in the film industry, it's like if you go to a job interview and they legally cannot ask you about your disability or what accommodations
Right.
you need, which everybody should know, and then you get the job. And then you have to reveal all these things about it. It's like if you started dating somebody and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, I've got like 8 kids." Like,
yeah.
And
that's the thing.
it makes
feels-
it awkward that you have to hide this and
you
then
have to hide
reveal
it for
yeah.
so long, and then you have to make the decision, okay, do I dump it all at once, like all these accommodations that I need, or is it like drip fed,
Yeah,
like slowly through that probation period? I mean, like, I've been there through regular retail jobs.
Well, that's the thing. The idea of probation periods means you have to hide it
for so long.
for longer,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, in order to secure
And I
positions.
I mean, I've been in situations where my disability was the reason why I did not like continue working at a job, and there's nothing that's like so defeating. Like, you fight so hard to just live in your body, like especially somebody with chronic pain like me, and it's so different day to day, hour to hour. Like, if I move one way and suddenly I have like spasms up my back, like I'm not like doing it on purpose, and it's so unpredictable, and there's nothing more defeating than thinking and like preparing yourself so much, going to do a job that you know that you can do, and then to have that reason be like specifically stated, of it being oh, it's because of your disability. It's like it feels like you have no control over your life, and it feels so frustrating. Does it feel different to you to support me as like a coworker and then support me as a friend? Is there a difference for you?
Well, yes, there is a difference. I think that as a friend, it doesn't matter what we're doing together. It's going to be fun, and we can do whatever the heck we want. As, you know, if we're talking about our career, if we have a certain project and we have a deadline, sometimes I do find myself, I have to tell you, these are our options if we want to get this done. and these are the choices that you have. This is the situation we're in. We just have to accept it and then make a choice. And so yeah, there are times where I think that's the difference, is that supporting as a friend is like the easiest thing. No pressure. Mm-hmm. That's what being a friend is. But then if we are working on a project together, then there are things that need to be done. There are certain things that need to happen. So we have to make sure that they do. And we need to set each other up so that we're working properly and we're in a scenario, an environment that is ideal. So yeah, that's very different, yeah.
What would you say is the hardest thing about having someone with a disability in your life?
Well, for me, the hardest part is always watching in times when something is out of my hands, out of your hands. That is the hardest part, especially if you have to do something where I'm not involved, and sometimes people don't know you, and then people don't understand you, or they misunderstand you. And those are very tough times, I think. That is because like there's nothing that I can do, and sometimes there's nothing you can do, and that's way tougher than saying we tried and it didn't work out, or saying, you know, well, we didn't want to do it anyway.
I feel like, yeah, that's the biggest thing too, is that I definitely notice in tough times when it comes to our career, you are definitely the person to like keep us moving. I don't know if it's the anxiety or if it's just like being so overwhelmed and in a situation where there's so much like pressure and there's so much like stress. I can get really stuck really easily on one thing, and if it doesn't work out, like it's almost like every backup plan that we've talked about is just like doesn't exist in my brain anymore.
Well, the reasons why we have so many backup plans, I mean, being a filmmaker is being rejected.
Yeah.
We, from so many places, we get rejection. We apply to every grant we can, and we know that we're not I mean, I don't expect to get any of them. When I'm making and writing the grant, I'm like, this is great, this is good. As soon as I hit submit, then I have to enter this. You're saying no. I have to enter this mindset of now it's gone, and now the grant could have been better, and I'm like, well, it's done, and we're probably not going to get it. Let's plan some other stuff to do while we're not getting grants. Which we have gotten a few, and we've been working well, and I hope it continues, but it's hard you take rejection very hard, especially, and then if we do make the films, if we actually get to make the films, then we have to apply to festivals, and we have to spend money on that, and then we have to write applications, and then when I hit submit, I have to say, we're not getting in, and you don't do that either. That's tough.
It's hard, and I think it comes from my brain is going a mile a minute, and it's asking these questions all the time, and I know that it's really hard for me to let go and not taking it personally, and like I've had people in the industry that I've worked with before be like, oh, you just can't let it get to you, you just can't do it, and it's so easy to say, and I just am so in awe of you doing that. That's insane.
It's a blessing and a curse not caring about anything. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I have been getting a little better.
Yes.
Each time it happens, but yeah, it's very like overwhelming, and it's like and it's hard being somebody with so much anxiety about it, because it's like it's all I can think of in the past is all that negative stuff. That's the stuff that comes to the surface right away, right?
Which is not only anxiety. I think that is a human thing to do. Is you have to learn a lesson from negative experiences. You don't learn anything from succeeding. Right. That is one of my biggest things, is that you do not learn anything from success. It doesn't teach you anything other than, I mean, there are some very important things. It does teach you that it can be done. Right, but other than that, there is so much more to learn from failure than success. Yeah. Right.
Is there any advice or anything you would like to pass along to other people with disabilities?
Other people with disabilities, I think I would say speak up, and not like in big ways, like, oh my gosh, one person can change the world. Yeah, they can, but I'm talking about tell somebody if you need them to get out of the way, or ask a question if you don't understand something. I'm talking about the small ways. Speak up in small ways. And yes, one person can change the world, but I think we all have learned that, and I think that what we do in filmmaking and these stories that we tell, definitely make us feel like it can be possible. I think it's important to know that, but I think that it's more important to know that other people will be receptive to you and do, for the vast majority of people, do care and will change something if you needed to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's... I mean, I talked to my mom in previous episodes. Well, you were there. And that's very similar to her mentality as well. Is it doesn't... You don't need to set these big wheels in motion. It can start very small, and it can start, and no matter, and this is advice I have to give myself constantly. It's like, even if one person says no, you're just like knocking on the wrong door. It's like, go to the next door still, and still keep trying to make a world that you want to live in, and even just make your surroundings what you need to live in. Yeah.
I think the other thing I would say is that the things you want to do are important and should be done. I think that if I were to talk to another filmmaker and they would say, I don't think anybody wants to watch this film, I don't think anybody would be interested, and I would say, but both, what is getting made should be getting made, and what you want to make should also be getting made. Everything should be happening. Mm-hmm. I think everything should be happening for everyone. There is no reason why something should happen for one person that shouldn't happen for another, and there's no reason why things should be one way for another person and it shouldn't be another way or the same way for another person. I think that I want to say that everything can happen together and at the same time, and it's possible. I mean, we have the technology, we have the resources, and we have the manpower, and I think everything should happen. Everything should be able to get funded, and even in like the small little ways of people should be able to go to the grocery store. Everybody should be able to go and get these things they need in the same way, and they should have these resources available to them at the same time.
Is there any knowledge or advice you would want to give to somebody without disability?
For someone without disability, I would say that I think the biggest thing that I've learned is to just, throughout the day, take your time and just stop and just think, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And are the people I'm with enjoying themselves, and are they doing what they need to be doing? And sometimes asking every now and then, how are you? Do you like how things are? And I think that's important. Do you like the way things are going? Is there anything that could be different for you? Yeah.
I'm so grateful to have you here today. I hope you enjoy hearing from Cameron and learning more about his experience with disability. He has been such an important piece in my success in persevering with my disability, and I'm so happy to have him sitting across from me, whether it's behind the camera or in front of it. Next episode, we'll be meeting another member of my community, and we'll be speaking with them about disability and support systems. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to spend with me here on Season 2 of Difficulty Settings.